Hello friends, welcome back. This is Gaurav here. After checking out the video on how to create the volume, I want to show you how to create the Qtree in NetApp ONTAP using NetApp ONTAP APIs. So as I said you before in my previous video, you know now that there are two kind of different APIs. One is the cluster context APIs and another is vServer context APIs. So to create any Qtree, as we know that for creating a Qtree, you basically need at least the Qtree name, or you need to know that belongs to which SVM. So you should have the SVM tunnel in place. And to have the SVM tunnel in place, you should have the SVM configuration in your code. So let me show you how Qtree create API works. So once you select the Qtree create API, it will develop the whole code for you. Excuse me, which says that all this information can be provided. So again, I would say it's up to you what you want to choose in the information. But for this demo purpose, I'm going to select the bare minimum information. So I'm going to remove all this stuff and I'm going to keep the Qtree name, which is bare minimum, and the volume name in which Qtree is going to reside. So you can see the rest of the code remains same, and the difference in the code, in the majority of the code, is which API we are going to use. In this case, it's a Qtree create, and what are the parameters we need to pass. So what I have done is from the previous code, for the previous code, I have only replaced this part from this code. So I have copied this part from here and I have replaced with this portion in the code. Rest of the code remains same. The password connectivity with the cluster, it remains same. The vServer tunneling, it remains same. There is no change in there. So you can see we are telling to the API that this API need to be run, and that API need to run with this parameter and this parameter, and the values are going to be this. So these values and these parameter need to be added with the API as a payload, and ONTAP need to create that. So in this case, the Qtree name is going to be Qtree01, and the test volume name is the test vol 01, which we created in the previous example. So let's see our Qtree list first. So you can see there is no Qtree called Qtree01. Now I have saved this. Rest of the code you must be familiar by now. We are taking the output, the response output from the API, which shows the 200 output, and we print that, and then we print a small message that Qtree is created. Let me save it. Let me run it. It was quick. So you can see it gave me the message that API was passed, and it printed also the Qtree created message for us. Now let's go to the cluster and let's see if the Qtree is created. So you can see now that Qtree01 is created, which was not there before, and this is created under volume test vol 01, which you can see from here that it was test vol 01. Under SVM test SVM style, default style, it has taken Unix. If we would have given the style, which as I said before, you can select the style and you can give security style here, ops lock or mode. We have decided not to give that information, and we have kept it with the bare minimum. So you can see that let me just try to get rid of this. You can see the ops log and status, everything, or style, everything I have kept it default just for this demo purpose. So this is how you create the Qtree. I would suggest just go ahead and start using this. Create some Qtrees, create volume, create export policies, I think export policy works in the same way. You select the export policy. Let me just try to remove this and let me show you quickly. So you come here, you select the export policy, you select the policy name and return record. Probably you may not need the return record. You will simply say the policy name. Once you have policy created, you can try to create the volume, and once you will create the volume, let me just give you example. So you say that you create the volume, and in this volume you have an option to give the policy name. So here you mention that policy, you come here and you mention that policy, what you want to create with the newly created policy name. So this is how basically you create bits and pieces. You create the volume, you create the Qtree, you create export policy, you create learn, and all the stuff. But important is, which we will learn by the end of this tutorial, is how you combine this. I will try to show you to create a volume, to create a junction path, have a junction path in there, then the Qtree in there, and how you can mount that volume. We will see if I can I can show you with some of the API to how to mount that volume, or any command or something like that. Or if at least not mounting, but we can we will try to see if we can send that as a mail to us, so that we will get as a mail, email or something, so that your environment can show that okay, this volume is created and this is the complete path. So go ahead and mount this volume using this path, or mount this Qtree using this path. So I think that's all for today. So keep watching, keep learning, and don't forget to subscribe this channel. Thank you.